Hello, welcome to Biology, the scientific study of life. Again, more about the laws of energy transformation. The study of the energy transformations that occur in a collection of matter is called thermodynamics. Scientists use the word system to denote the matter under study. They refer to the rest of the universe, everything outside the system, as the surrounding a closed system, such as that approximated by liquid in a thermos bottle is isolated from its surroundings. In an open system, energy and often matter can be transferred between the system and its surroundings. Organisms are open systems. They absorb energy, for instance, light energy or chemical energy in the form of organic molecules, and release heat and metabolic waste products, such as carbon dioxide, to the surroundings. Two laws of thermodynamics govern energy transformations in organisms and all of our collections of matter. The first law of thermodynamics. According to the first law of thermodynamics, the energy of the universe of constant energy can be transferred and transformed, but cannot be created or destroyed. The first law is also known as the principle of conservation of energy. The electric company does not make energy but merely converts it to a form that is convenient to use. By converting sunlight to chemical energy, a green plant acts as an energy transformer, not an energy producer. The cheetah here in this picture, notice that the cheetah will convert the chemical energy of the organic molecules in its food to kinetic energy and other forms of energy as it carries out biological process. What happens to this energy after it has performed work? The second law helps to answer this question. The second law of thermodynamics: the energy cannot be destroyed. Why cannot organisms simply recycle their energy over and over again? It turns out that during every energy transfer or transformation, some energy becomes unavailable available to do work. In most energy transformations, more usable forms of energy are at least partly converted to heat, which is the energy associated with the random motion of atoms or molecules. Only a small fraction of the chemical energy from the food in this picture, notice that, is transformed into the motion of the cheetah shown. Most is lost as heat, which dissipates rapidly through the surroundings. In the process of carrying out chemical reactions that performs various kinds of work, living cells and avoidable convert organized forms of energy to heat. A system can put heat to work only when there is a temperature difference that results in the heat flowing from a warmer location to a cooler one. If temperature is uniform, as it is a living cell, then the only use for heat energy generated during a chemical reaction is to warm a body of matter, such as the organism. This can make a room crowded with people uncomfortably warm, as each person is carrying out a multitude of chemical reactions. A logical consequences of the loss of usable energy during energy transfer or transformation is that each such event makes the universe more disordered. Scientists use a quantity called entropy as a measure of disorder or randomness. The more randomly arranged a collection of matter is, the greater its entropy. We can now state the second law of thermodynamics as follows. Every energy transfer or transformation increases the entropy of the universe. Although order can increase locally, there is an unstoppable trend toward randomization of the universe as a whole. In many cases, increased entropy is evident in the physical disintegration of a system organized structure. For example, you can observe increasing entropy in the gradual decay of an of an unmaintained building, much of the increasing entropy of the universe of less apparent. However, because it appears as increasing amounts of heat and less ordered forms of matter, as the cheetah in this picture, notice that converts chemical energy to kinetic energy. It is also increasing the disorder of its surroundings by by producing heat and the small molecules that are the breakdown products of food. The concept of entropy helps us understand why certain processes occur. It turns out that for a process to occur on its own without outside help, an input of energy, it must increase the entropy of the universe. Let's first agree to use the word spontaneous for a process that can occur without an input of energy. Note that as we are using it here, the word spontaneous does not imply that such a process would occur quickly. Some spontaneous process may be virtually instantaneous, such as an explosion, while others may be much slow, such as the rusting of an old car over time. A process that cannot occur on its own is said to be non-spontaneous. It will happen only if energy is added to the system. We know from experience that certain events occur spontaneously and others do not. For instance, we know that water flows downhill spontaneously but moves uphill only with an input of energy. For instance, when a machine pumps the water against gravity. In fact, another way to state the second law is for a process to occur spontaneously, it must increase the entropy of the universe. Biological order, the disorder, or biological order and disorder. Living systems increase the entropy of their surroundings as predicted by thermodynamic law. It is true that cells create ordered structure from less organized starting materials. For example, amino acids are ordered into the specific sequences of polypeptide chains at the organismal level. Shows the extremely symmetrical anatomy of a plant's root, formed by biological process from simpler starting materials. However, an organism also takes in organized forms of matter and energy from the surroundings and replaces them with less ordered form. For example, an animal obtains starch, proteins, and other complex molecules from the food of its as catabolic pathways break these molecules down. The animal releases carbon dioxide, and water, small molecules that store less chemical energy than the food did. The depletion of chemical energy is accounted for by heat generated during metabolism. On a large scale, energy flows into an ecosystem in the form of light and leaves in the form of heat. During the early history of life, complex organisms evolved from simpler ancestors. For example, we can trace the ancestry of the plant kingdom to much simpler organisms called green algae. However, this increase in organization over time in no way violates the second law. The entropy of a particular system, such as an organism, may actually decrease so long as the total entropy of the universe, the system plus its surroundings, increases. Those organisms are islands of low entropy in an increasingly random universe. The evolution of biological order is perfectly consistent with the laws of thermodynamics. Okay, let's Notice that the two laws of thermodynamics. First law of thermodynamics, energy can be transferred or transformed, but neither created nor destroyed. For example, the chemical potential energy in food will be converted to the kinetic energy of the cheetah's movement. And notice second law of thermodynamics, every energy transfer or transformation increases the disorder, which means entropy, of the universe. For example, disorders is added to the cheetah surroundings in the form of heat and the small, notice that, the small molecules, they are by p-products of metabolism. Okay, thanks for listening.